Hey YouTube, so Immortal Wars is a good lord. Hey YouTube, so the Immortal Wars is based off a comic book called The Vanquishers, and basically it's about these mutants that are called deviants, and they get captured and put into this game, and this game is televised, and basically they're forced to fight each other in these bouts of combat. Basically, it's the Running Man / Hunger Games meets X-Men. So this, as far as I know, this is a straight to DVD title. I had never even heard of it until I saw it on the Walmart shelves for $8.99. And I thought the cover, so I look at this bad boy, look at how cool this is. I thought, man, that's a cool looking cover. Even the back has kind of a cool thing about it. And I'm like, even if it's not particularly well acted or whatever, at least the premise sounds cool. People with superpowers fighting each other, and maybe there's a good lead character. Maybe it won't matter if the side characters aren't that interesting. At least their powers will be cool. And for the first half of the film, that's kind of what it is. It's cool. There's a lot of really cool fights. It seems like that the actors they played the actors they have to play the deviants are more martial artists and fighters rather than actors, and they aren't terrible for the most part. Some of the dialogue, I don't know if it's the way it's written or if it's just the way they deliver it. It's just like there's a scene where two characters are talking to each other, and she's like, "You're right. They're on to us." And you're right. They're on to us. And it's just like, so I don't want to be too mean, because like actors have to put a lot of faith in their directors, so maybe it's the director's fault. I don't know, but there's a couple of scenes where it's just like the dialogue and the acting is kind of laughable and bad. But I mean, it's a B movie, and there is a very talented actor in this. Eric Roberts sort of plays the game master, the guy that's the announcer. I mean, you remember him in yeah, it's like the character in the Hunger Games, or like I said, the Running Man, where he's kind of like the showman and he runs the entire thing and he's entertaining. He's really cool in the movie. He's great. He's a legendary actor, so how could he not be good? He's perfect for this part, and he brings a little bit of a Jon Snow vibe too, but he's very much more of a showman, and it's sort of cool to see this guy who's typically known for playing really serious roles sort of have fun with this at the same time, but also be very menacing. So basically, these deviant characters are put off individually, and their powers are listed, and they're ranked on a power scale of 1 to 10. And of course, the main character is rated a 10. She's got Katniss Everdeen syndrome, and that was sort of what I was afraid of. I was just like, how interesting would it be if she was weaker than the others and she had to outsmart everybody? But I mean, she's got some cool powers. She can do telekinesis. She apparently can absorb powers too, but she doesn't really use this ability a whole lot. She's got super strength and enhanced speed, not like the Flash enhanced speed. It's like she's a fast fighter, but she's the strongest out of the lot. So it's just like there's not a whole lot at stake other than the fact that she doesn't want to fight. And there's a lot of times where I guess you're supposed to feel for her, because she's like, well, I don't want to kill my own people just for human beings' entertainment. And there's a shift in the film where she kills somebody, and she checks to see his pulse, because I mean, she wants to make sure that he's okay. Because in the game, it doesn't seem like you necessarily have to kill your opponent, you just have to beat them. But the ratings are better, I mean, if you kill them. But she checks for his pulse, and apparently that really pisses Eric Roberts off, because that makes, these deviants / mutants look like human beings or whatever. And I don't know, there's this whole subplot where it's like, well, these deviants, they're the reason that the Earth is shit, and the film is trying really hard in places to say something about racism and how placing the blame on one race or one faction or these group of people is a big no-no, and how they're just like us, even though they're different. We're all connected. And I think unfortunately that sort of thing's been kind of beaten over the head, so much in the past couple of years that you've heard the message so many times, it sort of falls flat, and the film doesn't deliver it in a new way. That's the problem here. It doesn't deliver it in a new way. So, and I just finished watching this movie, so I needed a little bit of time to sort of cool down, because the ending is what left such a bad taste in my mouth. The rest of the movie was fine. It was entertaining. It was more or less what I expected. I think there could have been a little bit more action and showing of the powers, but for the most part, it was cool. There was a lot of really cool parts and cool fights. I liked that it was martial arts, sort of like on the same level as like Bloodsport, Time Cop, two movies I really love that have a lot of really great fight scenes. It's not like the Bourne movies where they're constantly cutting away and you can't see what the hell is going on. But it gets to the ending, and I realize there's not a whole lot of time left. How are they going to do this? Because there's a lot that happens in the last 10 minutes. There's characters introduced that weren't in the movie before, or they were barely in the movie, and it's like all of a sudden they're important. And it's down, and I don't want to spoil anything, but basically it reminded me of the ending of Amazing Spider-Man 2, where it just basically stops. It stops during a really cool part that I don't know if they're trying to do the same thing with like Catching Fire, where there's going to be a part 2, and we're going to see what happens next. And I'm going to be really pissed if they don't do a part 2, or if that was just a last minute decision, like, oh, we're going to make a sequel. Go ahead and shoot the rest of the scenes, but we're going to use that to jump into the sequel, and we're going to use this really cliche and dumb way to sort of make the audience want to buy the next one, but really it's just going to piss them off, like it did me. And I think that's what really left a bad taste in my mouth. I'm excited to watch the special features and see the making of. I'm sure that it's a shame, because it seems like the crew probably worked really, really hard on this, and it's the studio heads that make dumbass decisions like, hey, let's cut off right before Spider-Man is about to fight the Rhino. It's like, really? Yeah, this movie has an ending like that, and that it's like starting a book. I mean, you want to start off strong in your first chapter, but you also have to have a satisfying ending that equals each other. And the movie starts out strong. It sets up the characters pretty well, telling you what their powers are, and you kind of get a feel for everybody's deals. Like, sure, the delivery as far as dialogue isn't perfect, but you at least get the idea. It's like, okay, cool, we're gonna watch these people fight and maybe get some decent character development too. And then it's like, it gets to the end and you're pumped up for this last round, and it just ends before you get that reward. It's like, hey, I'm gonna buy my kid a hamburger, but I'm only gonna let him eat half of it, but I'm not gonna tell him until he eats that half. That's what it feels like. I mean, that's a weird analogy, but it's like, that's what this movie did to me, and I want to like it. I really, really wanted to like it. I don't hate it, but it bothers me that I was enjoying it, and basically I had the rug pulled out from underneath me at the very end, and it just left a bad taste in my mouth. And if they make another one, cool. Let's try to improve on all the weaknesses of this film, and it'll be cool to see Triclops, the main character, sort of lead these people on that. So I know we've seen that 1,000 times in Divergent and the Hunger Games. And let's find a new way to present that. that doesn't mean we can't do something new. So obviously this film did have sort of an effect on me because, I mean, it's expectations. You know, I wanted to have a good time and to really enjoy this movie, but it's like, unfortunately, it's a mixed bag for me. It's not, it's not Steel level or Batman and Robin level. It's who would I recommend this to? Let's get to that. I would recommend this to, if you're an X-Men fan or a Hunger Games fan like I am, and Arnold Schwarzenegger's Running Man. I love that movie. It's sort of the same deal. It's like they get to fight in different environments, so it's like you get to see the different skill level. And apparently, everybody in this film is a martial artist. It seems like everybody's sort of on the. It seems like every deviant knows some form of martial arts. But I mean, that's just a thing, I guess. So, Immortal Wars. Have you seen it? Have you read the comic book that it's based off of? Comment below. Let me know. Are you going to watch it? It for me is a mixed bag. I'm interested to see what other people are saying about it. If there's a whole lot of people saying anything about it, or if it's just gonna fly right under the radar and just end up into the abyss of obscurity, or if there ever will even be a sequel to sort of verify or legitimize that ending. I mean, because Amazing Spider-Man 2, we never had to see the ending to that fight. God, I hope they don't do that. As always, thanks for watching. Night of the Half Angel comes out on the 13th. That's my new urban fantasy book. I'm very excited about that. If you like what you see here, make sure you follow me on Twitter and subscribe below. Bye.